Hey guys, my name is Starcopper from the Ministry of Science. Damage is one of those things in Helldivers 2 that seems really simple. You shoot that bug, bug die.
Helldiver KIA deploying replacement.
Easy. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, however, and a lot of stuff the game does not tell you. With the Xbox recruits on the field, I thought no better time to give a detailed overview on how damage works, so that you too can best optimize your loadouts for maximum liberation. Let's get started. To begin, let's go over basic damage calculations. This is your standard issue AR-23 Liberator. Each bullet does 80 damage, so when we fire at this automaton trooper, who has a main health pool of 125, we should expect it to fall in 2 hits. Simple. However, how does this happen? Notice how I only hit this trooper's arms. Shots to the arm only do 50% damage to a trooper's main health pool, meaning that this bot can technically survive 2 Liberator shots to the arms, barely holding himself together at 45 HP. This is all pretty obvious, but what happens when we scale up the enemy? I'm shooting at this rocket devastator, and I'm seeing all sorts of hit markers. The thing only has 750 health, so why does it take me almost a full mag to take down? This is where armor penetration values come in. Every weapon has an armor penetration value on a scale of 0 to 10. Conversely, every enemy has body parts that have an armor value on the same scale. Most enemies have a varying degree of armor across their body. For example, this Devastator's torso armor has a value of 3, meaning our Liberator, with a value of 2, will not do any damage. When this happens, you will see a shield icon with a bullet deflecting off of it. If your weapon's armor penetration value meets the body part's armor value, you will do 65% of the weapon's damage to that enemy, and see a white hit marker. If your weapon's armor penetration exceeds the enemy armor, you will do 100% damage and see a red hit marker. This means that against our Devastator, we can shoot the legs to end it. However, our bullets will only do 52 damage per hit, as opposed to the usual 80. However, if we target the head or stomach areas, our Liberator will be doing maximum damage. Another thing to keep in mind is that body parts only transfer a specific percent of total damage done to a body part onto the main health pool of the target. On top of this, certain body parts are fatal when destroyed, regardless of the main health pool. The most obvious example of this is the head. However, the stomach, pelvis, torso, and legs are all fatal parts for the Devastator as well. Knowing all of this, we can determine that by far the easiest way to kill a Devastator is headshots, requiring only 2 shots with the Liberator and good aim. However, aiming for the stomach or even the legs are also good options. Let's get a bit more complicated. The Bile Titan has a massive health pool of 6,500. This is only slightly higher than a Flesh Mob at 6,000 HP. However, the Bile Titan is much harder to kill with conventional weapons, even if the shots penetrate at max damage. Why is this? Weapons actually have a secret second damage value known as durable damage. Enemies have a secret durable armor, which is applied to an enemy body part as a percent. Let's give an example. As stated before, the Liberator does 80 standard damage. Hidden from the player is the secret durable damage value of 15. A Bile Titan's lower flesh sac has 100% durable armor. Damage done to durable parts of the enemy is calculated using this equation. Plugging in the numbers shows us that the Liberator will only do 15 damage per hit. This means that instead of taking only 10 shots to pop the sac, it takes a whopping 50 shots, requiring a reload. A flesh mob's main body has 25% durable armor, meaning that, in layman's terms, only 25% of the damage is negated by durable armor. This means that each Liberator bullet will only have a small damage penalty applied. The last main type of damage you should know about is explosive damage. Explosive damage is extremely powerful because it not only completely ignores durable armor, it damages both the body part and the main health pool simultaneously. Some enemies do have explosive resistant parts, however, and weapons you would think do a lot of explosive damage usually, in reality, just do a lot of bullet damage and a little bit of explosive damage. Let's do one last example before we move on. We would be shooting an Eat at the head of a Bile Titan. Let's go over what's going on behind the scenes. The Bile Titan's head has 1500 health and an armor value of 4. It has a durability of 95% and an explosive resistance of 50%. Obviously, if the head hits 0 HP, it is fatal to the Titan. Our Eat has an armor penetration value of 6, does a whopping 2000 standard damage and critically 2000 durable damage as well, topped off by an extra 150 explosive damage. Upon hitting the head, the Eat's projectile will do 2000 damage to the head of the Titan. The Titan's durable armor has no effect since the Eat's standard and durable damage are the same. However, the Eat's explosive damage is actually cut in half by the Titan's 50% explosive armor. Nevertheless, this means that the Titan's head takes 2075 damage total, instantly killing it.
Freedom, red yet murder. Extract when ready.
There are a lot more nuances to Helldiver 2's damage system that we didn't touch on today. Demo Force, Stagger and Push Forces, and Elemental damages are just a few of the topics we didn't get into, and I may make a video in the future covering these topics. However, this information should be more than enough to help you make informed picks about your loadout. Most of the information I researched for this video comes straight from the Helldivers 2 wiki on wiki.gg. A link to it is in the description, and you could use it to see the damage and armor values of every weapon, stratagem, and enemy in the game. I also pulled a lot of images from there since they are so well made, and a huge shout out to all the folks who put in time to make the wiki one of the best. But that's all I have for today. Hope to see you next time. Bye bye.